I don't know if you know this, Mel Robbins. She has that book, Let Them Out There, which is really, she's really a brilliant person about you can't control what other people think. Just let them.
I would love to write the response book. Don't mind if I do.
This is Hungry Dogs with James Patterson. Today I'm talking with John Krasinski. No, actually I'm talking with BJ Novak. BJ went to the same high school as Krasinski. They also starred together in The Office. Anyway, today, BJ is going to talk about his best-selling kids book, The Book with No Pictures, how doing stand-up taught him lessons in humility, what it's like to work with Quentin Tarantino, why he turned down being a showrunner on The Office when it was at its peak, and what it means to burn out on success. I wouldn't know. I burned out on failure. I really, really, really like BJ, and you will too. P.S. We're still working on the audio and the pictures and all that stuff. And now, here's BJ Novak, or Krasinski, I'm not sure. I'm confused.
Let's start with a highlight for me of things that you've done. The children's classic, which I love, The Book with No Pictures. Why a kid's book? How did that happen?
That was really my purest and favorite example of writing for the audience and completely losing myself as an author other than a storyteller for kids. I lose all my self-consciousness with kids. I have a brother 12 years younger, and I lived to tell him bedtime stories. And when my best friend Chess had his first kid in my friend group, Bruce was 2 years old, and I would go to their house and I would read them books. And that was just my favorite way to bond with this little boy I loved. He would toddle up to me and hand me a book and hand me another book. And I thought, there's something funny about this, because he has no idea what's in this book, but he knows that I have to say whatever is in it. And I started thinking like him. I was like, what's his fantasy of what's in this book? What would be the funniest thing to force a grown-up to read? And then I went home.
No, I love, that's a great part of it. Stuff like, my only friend in the whole world is a hippo named Boo Boo Butt, or Blork.
Yeah.
Blorf. And adults have to read it. And kids love it when adults make asses of themselves. It's the best.
Thank you.
Tell me about, if you feel like it. If you don't, you just say, no, I don't want to do that. Your father's influence on you. He co-edited with the Big Book of Jewish Humor and wrote a lot. And what kind of influence was that? Your dad's a writer.
Look, I think the biggest advantage I had in my father being a writer, and I'm interested in your story in this, so much of the journey to becoming a writer for so many writers is simply getting the courage to think, I'm going to give this a try. This might really be my job. And many people spend years in another profession. Even I believe you and John Grisham, they start as a lawyer or something, and they write at night, and then they think, how could I even dream of supporting myself as a writer, let alone the ones who never even try? My advantage was because my father went upstairs to his office every day, wrote, and earned a living. I didn't think it was an odd thing to do. So when I had an aptitude for writing, I didn't have to summon up the nerve and the ego and fight my parents to study writing. They thought, yeah, sure, why not? It was like being a plumber or a lawyer. And so that was an incredible advantage, just thinking it was a normal thing to do.
No, I think this is correct, but I'm not sure. After school, after college, and talking about courage, you worked the club circuit a little bit, right?
As a comedian.
Stand-up stuff?
Yeah, not as a dancer or anything, but yeah.
But, well, I don't know. I mean, whatever it was, no dancing.
No.
Would you like it to say that when you get up there, if you're expecting dancing, it's not happening, So what was that? I mean, that obviously prepared you for some stuff, because that does take a lot of guts.
That was incredible training for me, and I think for anyone, because it really made visceral the experience of writing itself. It was really taking it into three-dimensionality. When my first job, I was very lucky and had a very quick start. When I was 21 years old, I was hired to write for Bob Saget's sitcom, Raising Dad, it was called. And not a good show, but I came to love Bob. And I was a real hotshot, cocky writer to get a writing job so early. And I thought whatever I wrote, I thought was brilliant and better than all these out of touch older writers. And then when we get them to set, I'd realize, sometimes these jokes and scenes don't work. And when they don't work, it's Bob who is suffering. I'm just crossing my arms thinking I'm a genius.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. He pays the price. And then when I started doing stand up and I'd think, this is brilliant. If I'm on stage, say it and the audience.
Yeah.
I never want to say that line again. I'm not going to say, no, I was right. And so it really
look good in front of the mirror, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's this tremendous ability that the audience will know better than I will.
All right. So small world, you and Krasinski went to the same high school, which most people don't know, in Newton, Mass, right? And then The Office and whatever. So we just put that little bit of information out there. But speaking of The Office, let's not. You're probably tired of talking about that. And no one goes to heaven to see Ryan Howard, right?
Thank you.
That's an in joke. Just only, the several million people who read your book would get that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I guess the one thing about The Office is semi-interesting. In the 9th season, you were offered the showrunner position, and what happened?
I said no.
Okay. How come?
I was burned out from it, is the simple way to say it. And I was sort of losing my connection to the show a little bit. It was so much work. There were so many writers at that point. Everyone had an opinion of how the show should end. I had an opinion too.
How many writers about? Do you remember approximately?
16 or so. And we
16
started
writers. And they talk about me with collaborating, right?
Yep.
I go with one person. That's small, just 2 people, as writers' rooms go.
And
I was on the Daily Show. I think it was the Daily Show, wherever the hell it was. And they had like 17 writers. I'm going, Jesus, it's a half-hour show, 17 writers. That seems, I don't know, claustrophobic for one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
burned out. That's interesting, though. For somebody who, I don't know how many Alice Cross books, 26 or whatever the hell it is, and a lot of Michael Bennett's and whatever. And I guess I don't know why I don't feel burned out. Partly because I have other stuff to play around with. Mm-hmm. That probably helps a lot. So I don't feel, I always, when I get down to Alex, it's like, okay, I got another story to tell about this clown. I can tell another story. But that's interesting. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I wonder, do you ever get overwhelmed with what you feel are either I don't imagine the demands of a publisher but perhaps the demands of the reading audience, people that want the next sequel. Does that ever cause stress?
Nothing overwhelms me. I did this thing with, I don't know if you know this, Mel Robbins. She has that book, Let Them, out there, which is really, she's really a brilliant person about figuring stuff out. Simple stuff. Let them. You can't control what other people think.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be able to control what they think. Just let them. I'm not worried. Okay, whatever, let them. Or whatever they think, I'm doing my own thing.
I would love to write the response book. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. But I like that thought. And I've kind of, when I talked to Clinton a fair amount, President Clinton, and one of the things that we'll talk about is not worrying about stuff we can't do anything about. I'm not going to ruin my day because I can't do anything about it. Whatever the hell the latest presidential order, I can't do it. And if I can do something, well, let's do it. But I'm just not going to ruin my day with stuff that I can't. I can't do anything about it.
You've been president of the United States. It must be hard to let go of the idea that you can't do something about it because you've been in a position where you can do something about pretty much anything.
Yeah. He's better. He's better at it than he was.
Okay.
He's better at it. He's kind of getting it. I think, he would have liked to have had more an effect, especially when it was closer to when he was actually president. But he realized it's like a lot of things. Once you're out of that power position, man, they're not listening as much as you think they would. I've seen that happen a lot. There was a guy who ran, Little Brown and Warner and all that stuff, and he left it to become an agent, and he thought he would still be the guy.
Uh-huh.
And no, it was, and that people liked him a lot, but it's like, okay, well, you're not the power guy anymore, so it's different. It's just different.
I think, though, a lot of people do know it, and I think I suspect it's why I've always wondered, why are Congress people so afraid of losing an election? Who cares? Like, it's not,
because that's their bit, man. That's their deal. That's their life.
They know no one's going to pick up their call after. I'm like, it's not that high paid. It's like, you'll always be a former congressman. You'll go speak, stand up for yourself. Who cares if you lose? It's because no one calls anymore, right? No one listens anymore.
Right. And they like, people like up to a point that, like, oh, Senator, whatever the heck it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. You go into the restaurant and they go, oh, come on in, Senator, whatever, all the bennies. They like it. And there is something, this already, there's something a little addictive about, kind of being a star for having an audience, whatever the heck it is. So they don't want to give it up. Most of them don't. That's the one thing about George Bush, the second. He's very comfortable. He was very comfortable just walking away from it. He still is.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him on some level. I mean, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to do my painting. I'm going to drive my truck and fuck you. He doesn't say that. That's me. I don't know that he says fuck you, but either it's at that attitude. I kind of like that,
Every year around the holidays, okay, right now the holidays, I tell myself I'm going to slow down. That never works. Fewer deadlines, more nights in with my family and a good book. Yay. That's what this season is supposed to feel like. Warm, calm, and comfortable. And Cozy Earth nails that feeling. They really do. Their bamboo pajama set is one of those gifts that actually gets used, and I'm using it these nights myself. Soft, lightweight, and cool. Then there's the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. Yeah, that's the name. And it lives up to it, the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. It's perfect for movie nights when nobody wants to move from the couch, or just any night when nobody wants to move from the couch. What I love most about Cozy Earth is that it's not just another holiday present. It's something that really makes people more comfortable. They even back it up with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, which means if you don't love it, you can send it back. But I have a feeling that you won't. And that's why they can make such guarantees, because they know that the stuff is so good, you won't take them up on the 100 days or the 10 years. Black Friday has come early. Right now, you can stack my code Patterson on top of their site-wide sale, giving you up to 40% off in savings. Wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth. Help me out by liking and subscribing to Hungry Dogs. You can help a lot, so help, especially if you like the interviews. Your friends will if you like the interviews, your friends will like the interviews, right? Do you have any friends? I don't know. Also, drop me a comment with any ideas you have to make the Hungry Dog interviews better. I'm hungry to hear what you think. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Movie stuff. Just out of curiosity, what was it like working with Tarantino?
It was the most exciting and glamorous artistic experience, and I knew it at the time. I knew it and knew nothing would ever equal it, and it could it, because so few people, the romance, the glamour, the sort of the mystical feeling of what movies mean. No one really holds that up anymore, but he does. He does. And so being on that set, you're, such a funny thing, because I grew up, I was at that Pulp Fiction opening night and changed my life. And everyone on that set, every actor had grown up idolizing Tarantino. And one time,
whatever, yeah.
Yeah. One time we were all standing around and he was telling us a story about Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was his hero, and he met Bob Dylan, and he was talking about what it was like to know Bob Dylan. And he said to us, like, I mean, can you imagine that? Like, you grow up your whole life idolizing someone, and now there you are, you're actually talking to him. That's happening to us right now, dude.
Right. Right. Can you feel it on the set, though? I mean, the way he's given direction or not giving direction at times, and obviously the passion and the genuine joy that he feels about making the film.
A really interesting thing I found about that was that you think that a genius of his field like that would be so hard to understand what he's doing. In fact, at that level, it's very easy to understand because he says, I want to try it more like this way, or, oh, you know, it gave me an idea. And how about you swing the camera like that? And how about play? You didn't know that. He speaks so intuitively and conversationally. It even though I could never match his talent, it made me realize, oh, even at that level, it's truly about being clear and expressive about what you want.
Yes. Yeah. Or what you're thinking, at least. Yeah. No, an awful lot of people, I run into, we all do, I think, people go like, oh, there's a lot of interesting words there, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm not sure that you do either. Yeah. It's the kind of stuff where we learn to speak that way and write that way in college, and it's not useful for the most part. Yeah. The communication. Very simple. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I think this scene is supposed to do. We may change it. We may go another way with it, but here's the, I have this thing about, actually, Michael Connelly is a very good mystery writer. He said it better than I do in terms of what I try to do, which is every scene, every single scene, I try to do this, moves both the plot and the characterization forward.
Right.
And turns on the movie projector in your heads for books. So you can be there without too much information. I get it. I feel what's like on that street, whatever the hell it is, if that's useful. But there's no wasted motion. It's all about, I'm going to feel, I'm not going to suddenly, now we're going to do some characterization scenes. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We are going to do that, but we're going to do that in the context of this story. It's just interesting. And also, I mean, the other thing with writers, and you see this a lot, I'm going to ask you about the movie you directed and wrote too, but, we'll write stuff, and it's not that it's bad dialogue, but it's not really, it should have been cut. Because it's not really helping that you fell in love with your language. I don't mean you, but you fall in love with the language. Writers do this all the time, but it's not really helping. In fact, it's hurting the story, or it's hurting the scene. You wrote and directed a thriller, a movie called Vengeance. So now you're the director. You've seen Tarantino. You've worked with other good directors. How did the highlights, lowlights, what did you learn, or what the experience was like doing that? Interesting thing. Scary, I think.
I guess I learned my own version of what I learned watching Tarantino, which is that you see a movie in your own head and then describe it as best you can to everyone who's helping you do it. And I also learned how much that, to me, I start as a writer, but everything I do feels like writing to me. So if I say in prose or in a screen direction, if I say, the house is the loneliest, dustiest house at the end of a winding road, whatever that conjures in words, there is a way to film that is exactly what you are trying to say cinematically. Yeah. And to me, that's not camera work. That's writing. To me, that tone, that pace, that sense of discovery, mystery, and yet warmth, for example, that you would capture in a sentence, you can try to capture with the camera. So it was interesting to me how much, as a writer, I felt that other things were just different forms of writing.
Well, we talked about, you talked about Tarantino a little bit. So he, certainly at this stage, when he goes there, everybody's basically buying into his act. So they're listening within reason.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, okay, we know you're talented, blah, 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 but, you haven't directed before. So all of a sudden you need to, the actors need to trust in you.
Yeah.
Or listen, or whatever the heck it's going to be. So how did that work out?
Well, I followed that old Hollywood trick. You fire someone on the first day in front of everyone. No. But have you ever heard that? That's apparently what used to be.
Really? That does it? Okay. All right.
The producer would show up, fire someone in front of everyone to scare the shit out of everyone.
Just reading, Lauren, his book, And it was something about he hadn't fired anybody in the first 3 years or something like that. Fired nobody, not one person. And you would think somehow you would expect, when I started the book, I would expect that he would have fired several people.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though. No firing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. No firing. I got very good advice before I directed, which is to, the exact advice was direct the cameras like you direct the actors. This is from a cameraman. I said, what advice would you give me? And I think a lot of people know about acting, even if you've done it in high school or something. There's a rule of thumb. You don't tell the actor exactly how to say the line. You tell them what they're trying to accomplish. Hey, try to seduce her with that line. Try to scare him with that line. And maybe you'll pronounce it in your own way, but you really want to give the intention so they can do their own.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing for a scene. What's the scene supposed to do?
Yeah.
Beginning, middle, end, or whatever the heck it is. This fits into this all. Oh, you want to do that helicopter thing overhead? Why? I don't know that's the tone. Why? And they do it all the time now, constantly. Yeah. And you just go like, okay, but and then they'll go in. Oh, and the studio go, wow, that's so cool. All these shots that seem spectacular and whatever. What do they have to? What's the tone of this thing?
Exactly. And to get everyone.
What's the voice? What's the the voice is huge for me. And I think for most of the really good movies, there is a voice, there is a tone, there is a reason. What the hell was what's the one where Nicholson with the broken nose and the
Chinatown?
Chinatown. The second, I don't know, I watched in the last 5 years or so. Every scene in that friggin' movie is designed to fit that story. I mean, it's really brilliant that way. I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but it's like, boy, yeah, everything, the angle, everything he did was really to a purpose. And it, was really, really, really brilliant in that sense for me anyway.
I mean, you can see a still from that movie and feel the whole film.
And the consistency and that's, I mean, obviously you don't have to do it that way and it doesn't necessarily make you money, but so, any more direct, I mean, you interested in directing again or?
Yeah, I would love to direct again. And I have a couple of scripts that I'm trying to, put together. It takes a while, of course, to put them together to get the money.
Why?
Actors. Why?
Oh, to get the money. I think to write them, for God's sake. So you got 50 pages or the 100 pages. No, I'm kidding.
Fine. I get it. You'd be able to write those quickly. Have you written screenplays yourself? Or do you?
No, because I can't deal with Hollywood. It's just, I can't. I sit in these meetings, sit in on them, and I just feel so bad for the writers. It's like, oh my God, there are like 20 people in the room and they all have a point of view. And they're not, I had this thing for a long, long time that people basically aren't stupid, but I'm changing on that. No, they just hear so many, that's just so stupid. And the person isn't stupid per se. I have this thing about they're not stupid. They're just stupid about certain things that they shouldn't be talking about and they shouldn't be in the room, but they're in the room. And the writer has to listen to it and take notes, and none of the notes, the notes don't coalesce, and it's just like, so no, I don't want to write screenplays.
Yeah, I think you figured it out.
If I put up all the money and wrote it, and I wouldn't want to do it anyway. I don't think I have the skill set for it either. I have a sense for the scenes and how the scenes work. I don't know that I could really get the dialogue the way I'd like to get it or way it should get. So I don't know that I'm quite there on that, but yeah.
I love dogs. I've had over 50 pooches in my lifetime, and that includes 12 Dobermans when I was a little kid. True story. Anyway, my love of dogs is why I wanted to talk to you about Ollie. Ollie makes real fresh meals for dogs. Every recipe is packed with protein, full of nutrients, and honestly, I like to think my old dog, Bumper, would have gone crazy over Ollie at mealtime. Bumper got his name because he kept getting hit by cars. This is in the old days. And after the third time, we changed his name to Bumper. Anyway, what's impressive is how personalized all of this is. Ollie builds a meal plan around your dog's needs, and that's a cool thing. The food comes pre-portioned, sealed, and ready to go. And the Ollie app is awesome. It is awesome. You can check in with actual experts about your dog's health. You can track meals and even see what new recipes they developed based on data from other dogs. If only they had this when poor Bumper was around. And Bumper lived to a long age, so it was a good thing. Bumper was a resourceful dog, but Bumper could have used Ollie for sure. Your dog's well-being starts with their food, and that's why Ollie delivers fresh, human-grade food that your dog will love. Head to ollie.com/Patterson, tell them all about your dog, and use code Patterson to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. 60% off. That's amazing. Wow. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/Patterson and enter code Patterson to get 60% off your first box. Take the guesswork out of your dog's well-being. Go to ollie.com/Patterson and use code Patterson to get 60% off your first box. So as you know, I loved your book of stories.
And I loved
them. You know, I made the joke about the one, nobody see Ryan Howard in heaven. Yeah. How come no more fiction?
I'm doing it now.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
More
stories or?
More stories and a couple longer pieces like a novella or young adult. But it takes me a long time. I tend to write tons of stories at the same time and then complete them at the same time. A terribly inefficient way of writing. But I hope to get a big new batch in the next year or so.
Yeah. I'm sort of big on the efficient ways. I mean, that's one thing I've evolved over time. And that's why for me, especially for longer pieces, outlines are just crucial for me. Yeah. Because you just save so much time. And you can read one of my outlines, which anywhere from 30 to 70 pages. And it's like, oh, there it is. It's just like reading the book. And I'm not a slave to it. Yeah. Because, once you start writing, all of a sudden a character, this character is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I want more and, blah, 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 blah. But and also you never sit down, to the blank piece of paper and go like, oh my God, it's like there's always something there that you're supposed to write that day.
Well, I think the best, or one of the best that I know, lessons in writing is your masterclass, which I loved and which includes the outline for your book Honeymoon, which I read and studied to see how you go from outline to finished novel. And it is a terrific master class, as it were, in exactly planning that out. And it does also show you how much one needs to think about what story are you telling and why? What's fun about it? What's interesting? What would hold a true peer that you're telling this to on the edge of their seat and want to go to the next chapter? And then once you get that, you can act and flourish. But, I from it for the other perspective of sort of either over mapping it out in screenplay or just sort of more comedic.
It's not over mapping if you're always willing to change everything. And I am.
But the screenplay, it's harder because, well, then if we're shooting this on that day, but
I don't understand why more people don't. When I get these things and they'll write like 5 pages of prose about the screenplay. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they do my style where it's just scene by scene by scene? You're going to do scene by scene by scene. Why wouldn't you outline that way?
They do. People do in this.
Do they?
Yeah.
But I always see these in the 7 pages of prose, and you're like, okay, not sure what,
Yeah, that's.
I guess maybe the less criticism that way. They don't have to put up with as much crap.
Yeah, it's hard also to convey the tone as a screenwriter unless your tone is already very well known. So maybe they tell you that.
What outline was involved with it? I don't remember which one.
Honeymoon.
Which one? Honeymoon? Okay, yeah. I think my outlines get better and better and better. And one thing for sure that I'm doing now is I will spend a lot of time really writing about the character before the outline. I'll have the whole separate thing about what's the stuff about this character. Really, And I think it's the why all of a sudden we're beginning to sell a lot of stuff in Hollywood. I don't know if it'll get made, but it's, we have one with Renee Zellweger, and she just fell in love with the character. I have a book coming out, a novel with Viola Davis. And once again, and it was interesting with Viola because she said, James, you would think that I get all these characters that are so great and I want to play. And she said, I don't. This character I want to play. And I spent a lot of time just thinking about the character. Alice Cross, he had the pieces that I don't think I had figured out the character totally, but he had these two important pieces, which has to do with a lot of our lives, not everybody, but where we have to balance our family life, our personal life with our work life. And his work life was nuts because it's this overdrawn detective thing. But his family life, he had to make room for it. And the thing that's on Amazon now, the actor, he's great, and because he's very intense, so the detective stuff, and that's appropriate. And then he's great with the kids. He's great with the kids. He's great. He's very natural, and that's the two pieces of two important pieces of Alex.
So how do you decide? You must have many ideas, and you write many of them, but how do you decide that you want to write a book and not another book? And is it about the character? Is it about the story?
I'm usually right now, this is how nuts I am, but in that way, somewhere over there are piles of manuscripts. I think there are like 26 live, either scripts or manuscripts right now. So I don't have to really, I'm kind of like, I'm doing a bunch.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I always, I want to feel one that I'm interested. There's one now that I'm really interested. I know it's really cool, but I don't fucking know how to do it. I'm not there yet, but I know it's really good. And it's sitting here and it has like about 12 of the chapters and I know it's great, but I'm just not sure where the hell it goes. So what I need to feel is like, I really want to write about it.
That means you have 12 chapters of the outline. Presumably, right?
Yeah, about that. But I haven't solved kind of, I have ways to do the second half, but I don't love them. So anyway, but two things. One is I'm really excited about the idea of the character and, that I think I know how the story lays out. I do stuff with Mike Lupica, and what Mike says is he's never seen this kind of thing where I kind of see the whole story. And I don't really, but I kind of see it. I have a sense of it. I kind of know where it's going. I know, I kind of get where it's going to go. I get the whole thing about it and I can see so with this one, I don't see exactly where it's going yet, but the ones that are, including we do stuff with Audible, these podcasts that are like 9 episodes, they go for they go longer than they should go, I think. But those are fun to do too. It's, we do them and they kind of, yeah, we can do that one. Okay, let's do it. And we get pretty good actors to do them, or very good actors. So those are fun.
Can I ask you, when you do get stuck, like you said, you don't know where something goes, do you have a
go to the next thing?
Okay.
I go do something else. The other thing about getting stuck for me, especially if you have something else to do, when I come back to it, a lot of times I'm unstuck. Or this is where the outlines are useful. Sometimes I'll but it's sort of like, I get stuck in a little section and all of a sudden that section becomes a paragraph at the end of a chapter. 3 months passed or whatever the hell it is. And I just write it the hell out of the whole thing. Yeah. I didn't know how to do it. I still don't know how to do it. And you know what? I'm just going to write it out of the book. It's fun. Yeah.
That's how conversations go when you tell them a story. Anyway, long story short, I solved that problem and then this happened. People go with it.
You're just telling a story and you just have to make that decision about your story. Mm-hmm. I've said this before, but one of the things with me, I'm telling a story and I don't want the other person, I'm talking it to one person. I don't want them to get up till I'm finished.
Yeah.
So, and that's helpful. And being aware, some people think it's a terrible thing. I'm really aware of the audience or an audience and I want them to be entertained. And I'm not, you mentioned peers before. I'm not really writing to peers. I think I could have written more serious novels, but I didn't want to because I didn't really want to talk to those people. When I was in grad school at Vanderbilt, it was a PhD program, and I didn't want to write for those people. I got it. I thought I could do it at some level, not at a great level though. Not at a, like I can't do 100 Years of Solitude. I don't have it in me. I don't think I do. So I can't be great. I could be okay. I don't want to be okay. I'd rather write a really good mystery than write, that's a nice literary, novel or whatever the hell. I don't know. That's just the way it struck me at the time. So anyway, BJ, you're going to be in The Devil Wears Prada 2 with Emily Blunt. Wow. That's kind of interesting. A little creepy. I know. A good script on that one. Interesting movie. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to say good things, but I mean, who directed?
Really great script. The first thing I tell everyone is it's a great script because I think people see anything that was a sequel to that first movie, but it would be a hollow feeling, I think, to just watch a tribute.
So frequently it is.
Yeah. This is a great self-standing sequel in the sense that this is a really good story of what would happen to these people 20 years later. I mean, it's double dynamics in one form or another that people loved about the first one, but the story subjects are, true new territory. So it's really the best of both worlds. And it was so expertly done by Aline Brosh McKenna, who wrote the first one as well. So I'd say yes.
Same director or different director?
Same director, same stars, some new elements. But I love that movie and the excitement for that.
I like the first one a lot. Yeah, well, everybody did. It's a really good story, and it just has so much good language.
It is great language, and it also, it has great writing for the actors. There's things in the script all the time. If you didn't know this character, this actor, you'd think, what an odd way to phrase something or an odd little line. But when it's just 3 words for Meryl Streep and you know exactly how she's going to do it, that's in the work,
Yeah. I guess that's one of the things about writing for television, which I never did. I mean, at a certain point, how that character talks within reason. And the idiosyncratic stuff about dialogue, I think, is also cool. And you can write it in. You can write it in that this character is kind of, which I think is another thing sometimes people forget about. Or they have, and I see it again on, where you got inadvertently an ensemble cast, and it's sort of like, you haven't really figured out like 3 of the characters at all. Mm-hmm. So they almost don't exist. They, season 3, you're going to figure out how to make that at any rate. So, most important, how's our novel coming along? Just kidding.
He's dead.
It's a cool story idea.
James, I love an excuse to talk to you. So I'm glad to do this anytime, camera, mic on or off, but I'm so glad.
All the sheets on the wall there, are those notes for
blank.
For what? For play?
No, they're blank. Those up there.
Oh, they're blank. Oh, they're blank. That's funny. Okay. I'm
all too white, and I thought, well, for the next project, I'll just put them on blue cards, and then.
Okay. All right. That's very funny. All right. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see the movie, and I love. I love. You have so many possibilities, which is great. Things that you can do. Which, and you have all the talent in the world, which but you probably it one day and don't know it the next day. If you're like the rest of us.
Absolutely. But when I met you and you told me that you were a fan of my book, that meant so much to me and really put.
No, I told you to go home and write is what I told you.
I have the exact.
Tell John Mayer to good night. I'll see you. Unless you want to sing a song here in a restaurant, but
on my desk, not just because you're here. The night you told me that, I wrote this on a note card, and I put it on, and I have it here. And I went home and I wrote that night. You have a gift from home and write. James Patterson, October 24th, 2024. So
cool. All right, well, I'll get out of here so you can work, and I'll probably work myself.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Hungry Dogs. Help me out by liking and subscribing to the show. We want to get these interviews out to as many people as we can. You can help a lot. If you like the interviews, your friends will like the interviews. So help. Also, drop me a comment with any ideas you have to make the Hungry Dog interviews better. I'm hungry to hear what you think. I love new ideas. Thank you, thank you, thank you.